Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the Football Overseas YouTube channel and welcome to game week 43 of the English Championship. My goodness, what a week we've had, and the two headlines really being made by the South Coast clubs. I dared to mention in last week's clip that Southampton could possibly be having a chance of the second spot, and their incredible run that they're on, I think it's up to 18 unbeaten now. And including a catch-up win midweek, they've now gone on to 72 points, just 3 behind Ipswich, who've slipped up to Portsmouth, and we'll talk about that in a moment. So Southampton have had an incredible week. They won 2-1 against Derby. I think they came from behind against Derby, but they got back to win, and then a more comfortable 2-0 win over Blackburn in midweek. So they've really given themselves this outside chance. Is it more than that? Probably an outside chance with 4 games to go, with Ipswich still having a game in hand. So it's there, but it's probably still going to be just out of reach. But what an effort by Southampton to come from literally nowhere as far as the automatic playoff picture is concerned. So great for them. And down at the bottom, Portsmouth. Now, do you remember 3 games ago they were 2-1 down to Oxford with just 8 to 10 minutes to go? They equalised in that game. They all seemed still a little bit flat, because they really needed to win that one, we thought. And then they go and beat 2 of the sides vying for automatic promotion. Can you, with keeping clean sheets to boot? Can you believe it? A 97th minute winner, I think it was, up at Middlesborough. 7 minutes of stoppage time, and a more comfortable but equally surprising 2-0 win over Ipswich at a fearsome Fratton Park. A really great atmosphere down there on Tuesday night has given them almost touching distance of safety when it looked, as I say, with 10 minutes to go of the Oxford game, it was all up and they'd be playing League One football. What a turnaround. That just proves what a turnaround we've had in 7 days. So, as I say, the 2 South Coast teams making the real headlines. So at the top, Coventry just need a couple of points to get to make sure of Premiership status, tick that box. They will probably go on to win the title as well, with everybody else dropping points behind them as they vie for the second playoff, the second automatic spot. And then the playoffs picture, Wrexham are slipping out of it. They've had a couple of poor results lately. They're 4 points behind Hull. It's really between those 2 now who goes, I think. Or maybe Derby still have a bit of a say in it. But it's essentially between Hull and Wrexham, who probably take that 6th and final spot, with Derby sort of lurking a little bit, maybe. And then, as I say, down at the bottom, my group of 5, I'm going to actually extend it to a group of 6, because Charlton just can't get that one more win that takes them into the early 50 points total. And they're on 49, Portsmouth 48, Blackburn 48. You would think just one more win for those teams will see them breathing a whole lot easier, if not almost there. And then it's going to be Wrexham, Oxford and Leicester maybe to really grind out. 2 of those 3 will join Sheffield Wednesday in League One. So we've had a real bit of a change around, haven't we? As we expected, nothing goes to real plan in this division. So there we go. We're coming up to game week 43. We have games Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Excuse me, some big games, of course. Now there's not many dead rubbers, and those teams who are floating around in mid-table will still have an integral part to play. And, we saw the integrity of this league, I think, was demonstrated at the weekend. Coventry 0, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Sheffield Wednesday weren't going to just lay down and let Coventry take the points. It just shows you can fight to the end, even if you've got nothing really to fight for. You've got to fight for the pride of playing in this league or playing professional football. I think that's absolutely the minimum anyone should expect. So there we go. So we start on Friday night with the said Coventry City away at Blackburn. Coventry have had a couple of 0-0s which their scoring boots have just gone just at the time they wanted to get on the celebration bus, I guess. And Blackburn, as I say, they had a 1-1 draw with Stoke. And they're on 48 points, so probably one more win. I don't think they're going to topple Coventry, but I think they'll pick up a point. I think they can just see the sort of that ledge that they can grab to stay in the Championship. I'm going to go Blackburn Rovers 1, Coventry City 1 to kick us off the weekend on Friday night. Then we go to the usual group of 3 12:30 games. The first of those involves Oxford United, who have, been they had a great 2-0 win against Watford, having been pegged back by Portsmouth, as I say, previously. So they go to Derby County, who are, as I say, having perhaps one last hurrah at trying to get the top 6 place. They went down to Southampton, which we know is no disgrace for that at the moment. Even Arsenal are doing that. So there we go. They're in good company. So Derby against Oxford. I think Derby might just nick this one. But Oxford have just perked up a little bit, haven't they, recently? But I'm going to go Derby 2, Oxford 1. Now, Millwall, who had in their eyes, will be a disappointing 0-0 with West Brom, which cost them 2 valuable points. It hasn't cost them a position at the table because their goal difference is so inferior to Ipswich. So it's Ipswich on 75 with a goal difference of 29, and Millwall on 70 with a goal difference of both pluses, of course, plus 9. So Millwall, I think, they have to win this game, I believe, because Ipswich still have a game in hand. So Millwall, perhaps top 2 is starting to slip a little bit out of their grasp, but we shall see. I think they'll come back with a win here against Queen's Park Rangers, who had a sort of a slightly, I say tedious 0-0 draw with Bristol City. I mean, 2 mid-table sides, you thought there might be a few goals, there wasn't. Anyway, I'm going to go Millwall 2, Queen's Park Rangers 0 for that one. Now, Fratton Park is a 12:30 kick-off against Leicester. Can you believe what the fixture machine has thrown up, or the way the season's gone to reflect the way the fixtures are thrown up? Portsmouth against Leicester. This, for me, is Leicester's last chance saloon. They're 5 points away from safety with only 4 games to go. They have to win this game. I can't see it myself, but they will know. They will travel down to the south coast on Friday thinking this is our last chance saloon. Will Portsmouth be just a little bit vulnerable after the highs they've had in the past week? Incredible week, as I say. 7 points not from nowhere, but unexpected to take 7 points from where they were, 2-1 down with 10 men against Oxford. What a turnaround. No one could have written that script. They've written their own, and I think they will get the 3 points at Fratton Park on Saturday, and that will just about see them in the Championship fixture list next season. I'm going to go Portsmouth 2, Leicester City 0. Leicester City lost 1-0 at home to Swansea. You see, that's the sort of team, Swansea that is, that you really want to be cherry-picking out of the division to play. A side that's probably thinking about next season, etc., etc. But there we go, the integrity of the league, as I say. And talking of that, we've got the next step, the first of the 3 o'clocks. Listed is Bristol City against Norwich City. Norwich have really made a dart for that playoff place. I mean, they're 10 points away now. It's all done and dusted. They can't get there. But from where they were just before Christmas, or in the sort of autumn, and unfortunately the management of Liam Manning didn't work out. Philippe Clement has really galvanised them and taken them to a much better place. This hopefully will be goals galore. 2 sides, nothing to play for. Go and enjoy what I think is going to be a lovely spring sunny day in England. So I'm going to go Bristol City 3, Norwich City 2. Norwich City, of course, smarting. I should mention that. Smarting from losing the East Anglia derby when they lost 2-0 at home to Ipswich. Ipswich did the double over them this year. So perhaps, they'll still be smarting from that, because I think they would have expected to get something out of the game on their own patch. Okay, we go. On we go to Hull City against Birmingham City. Hull probably need this and maybe one more point or two to confirm a playoff place. As I say, they're trying to shake off Wrexham. They're 4 points clear at the moment. The goal difference is very close, so 4 and 3. So it wouldn't to that. It's not going to have a real part to play. So I'm gonna Birmingham City, who beat Wrexham, because I say it a bit like that with that sort of inflex in my voice, because Birmingham have been having a pretty poor run themselves. They're in 15th. They're not really where the ownership wanted them to be, I don't believe. We shall see what happens in the fallout of that during the summer. They're guaranteed to be in the division next year, so, and they did only come up last year, so it's a bit of a learning curve for them, I think, even though they have spent some pennies, haven't they, on players. So, Hull City against Birmingham City. I think Hull will take the points here, although their home record has been a bit flaky, we know. Hull City 2, Birmingham City 1. Preston North End is up next against West Bromwich Albion. Now, again, a bit like Leicester, this is starting to get to not quite as severe as for Leicester, because they've got West Brom on 46 points and above the line from Oxford by 2 points at the moment. West Brom, as I said, there was this threat I read. I haven't really taken it all in, I must admit. But I did hear there's a potential looking at a points deduction. Surely that can't happen in this division now, this season now. That would be totally wrong for not only for West Brom but all the sides around them as well. That'd be crazy. But there is talk of the financial irregularity or financial fair play, whatever it is that they've breached. Anyway, and nothing has been, I don't think, made anything official yet, and it would be absolutely wrong, as a lot of pundits are saying, for it to be any deductions to happen now at this stage, crucial stage of the season. But taking that aside, putting that aside, they really do have to go to mid-table Preston and take the points. There is just no. They've had a couple of draws lately, haven't they? Frustrating for them. Drew 0-0 with Millwall, a good result in its own right, but not what they needed at the moment. But they're still just above the line. And you never know, if Blackburn and Portsmouth do get a little bit complacent, I'm sure they won't, but they're still there to be pulled back as well. So they need to do it. I think they will. I'm going Preston North End 0, West Bromwich Albion 1. Now Sheffield Wednesday are coming close to their final few games in the Championship for at least one season, and I did see it, unfortunately for them as well, because of the way the takeover is potentially going to happen. They're going to lose 15 or be deducted 15 points or start with a total of minus 15. What a shame for the fans who have come back in their droves since this ownership was lost, as it moved on. But the new takeover, the preferred bidder, I think they're calling it, are only going to pay so much in the pound, and all gets very complex, doesn't it? But the upshot is, it looks like Sheffield Wednesday will start with a minus total again next year. They're home to Charlton. Now, Charlton, as I say, I've put Charlton in my little group at the bottom. They've dropped in with some really poor results, particularly at home. Home defeats all over the place at the moment. So they are just flirting again. They're only a point clear of Portsmouth and Blackburn because of what's happened in recent days, but they're still a 5-point cushion, which is breathing space with only 4 games to go. But if you lose a couple more on the trot, they could be in trouble. But I'm going to go because they lost at home to Preston, a mid-table teams you'd want to be playing, blah blah blah, as I say. But I'm going to take that they will steel themselves and get the, no pun intended, at Sheffield, but they will rack up and get the points on Saturday. I'm going to go Sheffield Wednesday 1, Charlton Athletic 2. Now, the two S's. Next, Swansea and Southampton. Southampton, can they just keep the pressure on Ipswich and Millwall and Middlesbrough and the like? Middlesbrough have got 15 points in the last 6 games, and they're only 3 points behind the top 2. So that's how much they really chucked away a golden opportunity to be guaranteed playing Premier League football next season, which it's a shame for them that they've just had this real splutter at the end of the season. Still 4 games to go, and it can still be done. I'm not writing them off, but I just feel that other club teams at the moment have got better momentum. Even Ipswich, who lost at Portsmouth on midweek in their catch-up match, they will feel that they've got it in their way, is in their hands. So here we go then. Southampton are the noisy neighbours at the moment, creeping up, sort of unnoticed to a certain degree, but they certainly are in the mix, and they will want to stay in that mix as long as they can, and I think they will. I think they'll go to Swansea, continue their unbeaten run, their magnificent run that they're on. I'm going to go Swansea City 1, Southampton 3. Next game up is a dead rubber, but I'm sure both sides will want to get points just to keep their points total alive and good looking, as we might say. It's Watford against Sheffield United. Sheffield United had a comeback win against Hull in their last time out, 2-1, which Chris Wilding was a little bit happier about. He's been a happy bunny lately, has he? And Watford lost 2-0 at Oxford. Oxford obviously really went for the jugular in that match and got the points. So Watford and Sheffield United playing out in the sun. I'm going to go Watford 2, Sheffield United 1 for a home win. Wrexham, they're towards last chance saloon as well. They really have to win this game at home to Stoke City, mid-table Stoke. So yes, this is a game you would want to cherry pick from the group that are probably thinking, yeah, we'll play them. They haven't got much to play for. We have. Wrexham will be disappointed if they don't get the top 6. Having worked so hard to get in there, they've just lost their way a little bit. Lost 2-0 to Birmingham, as I say, which was a surprise to me a little bit. Because Birmingham had just been on a bit of a poor run. Anyway, Wrexham at home is normally, but they did lose, was it recently 5-1 to Southampton. Anyway, I'm going to go Wrexham to take the points just to keep their playoff hopes flickering, but it all depends on if other results go and the other teams maintain the gap. It becomes very difficult. But I'm going to go Wrexham 2, Stoke City 0. And last but certainly not least, what a game we've got on Sunday lunchtime, 12 o'clock, midday. Something to enjoy before we get stuck into the rest of Sunday. It's Ipswich versus Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough will feel this is one they have to win. They just drawing it and keeping a 3-point gap with Ipswich's game in hand as well isn't really in the deal. They have to get this game won, I think. I'm not sure they're going to, given the form they're on, but it could be just the sort of relaxing match that everybody expects them not to get points off, and they just rack up and get the points. Who knows in this division? And after the past week, I think it's impossible to forecast just about anything. I think Ipswich will recover from their not mauling at Fratton Park, but Portsmouth did a job on them, let's put it that way, and it was extremely good stuff for them, given some of the results they've had of late as well. I think they only had up to the win against Middlesbrough. That was their first win in 8. So you can see how much they were on the slide, but they've just arrested it in time. Anyway, Ipswich fell foul to them. I think they'll notch up here on Sunday lunchtime, take the points, keep themselves in second place, because they could be out of it second place by the time they play. So they'll know what all of the other teams have done, except Middlesbrough, of course. So Ipswich 2, Middlesbrough 0 is my final prediction of the week. There we go. The weather in the UK is expected to get better this weekend. A nice spring weekend ahead, we hope. So let's go and enjoy. It's always a nice time of year. People in sort of not their winter clobber as it in the crowds, and it's just nice and relaxed. The sun's shining. Let's enjoy the weekend. I hope you all do. Please like and subscribe to the channel as they close in on 1,000 subscribers. That would be fantastic to get that before the end of the season. How fitting that would be for everybody who works behind the scenes here and in front of the cameras as well. So there we go. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the football. It's going to be an incredible finish to the championship season. We all know one thing is for certain: it will all go to the final weekend. Have a great time, and we got a midweek programme next week just to add all into the mix, and I will see you to review these games. I'll see you early next week. Take care. Have a great weekend.